Clay Harbor, former NFL tight end, in studio, helping me run around and talk a little tight ends from CHSN's Big Pro Football Show. And Clay, you've been waiting on this segment, I know, all day, because Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet, when Colston Loveland gets drafted, ahead of Tyler Warren, by the way, who is having a phenomenal rookie season for the Colts, and Cole Kmet's still here, you're wondering, well, what does this mean for Cole Kmet? What does this mean? And then Colston Loveland had some injury problems early in the season. But I think we're finally seeing how 2 tight ends, maybe even 3 tight ends, can be used in Ben Johnson's offense. I know that makes the little lights in your eyes just brighten up.
No, it makes me feel warm and fuzzy all over, Marshall. It's just good. I think the Bears have 2 really good tight ends. Let me preface this by, I've been in tight end rooms, meeting rooms, practice fields, game fields with Brent Selleck and Zach Ertz. I've played with Rob Gronkowski. I've played with Martellus Bennett. I played with Eric Ebron. Played with Kobe Fleener. I've played with a lot of tight ends in my day. I've watched a lot of tape on tight ends. Every tight end in the league when I was in there, Tony Gonzalez, I watched it all. Tight end was the position that you go and you watch because that's who you're going against. You'd always watch other tight ends. When I turn on this Chicago Bears tight end film, the first thing you see, and it's a lost art today, I will say that, these 2 guys, 3 guys, you can even throw Dermot Smythe in there, but Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet are extremely tough and physical players. Colston Loveland might not have that reputation. Big, pretty guy. But when we say pretty, we mean tall, athletic build, not like he's actually a pretty man, like a pretty-looking football player. That's how football players use that term. Very common.
Like an Aaron Donald type?
Like an Aaron Donald, pretty-looking guy. That's the dude you want on your team, right? Big, just the guy looks good in a uniform. Colston Loveland is physical. He can block. He can hold the point. And for me, seeing that for a rookie, knowing how it is, going from blocking these teenagers in college to blocking grown men that do this for a living, that's the last thing to come. That usually comes after year 3 or year 4. You feel consistent blocking. Colston Loveland can do it right now. Cole Kmet, people call me, say I'm on the lead at Cole Kmet's fan club. Yes, I do love Cole Kmet, because he's so versatile, and whatever you ask him to do, he will do. You need to put him on the front side of a zone or the front side of a duo, he will hold the point. Not a lot of tight ends can do that. You also see him last week catching a little bender over the middle on a seam route. You see him catching a check down, breaking tackles for a first down. Had one of the best games I've seen from him as a Bear. He's not getting the opportunities. They drafted Colston Loveland. This guy doesn't bat an eyelash. He knows his role's about to change. It does. He keeps doing it at a high level. People keep talking about the offensive line as they should. 2 other guys, even 3 other guys that should be put in every conversation about this running game, why it's the second best, most efficient running game in the NFL, Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet. They're holding the edge. They're blocking defensive ends and linebackers. They're not guys like Evan Ingram. You have to arc release the safeties. They're not guys like Sam Laporta that can maybe block a linebacker. He doesn't block a defensive end. Sorry, Robbie.
A lot taken.
Sorry. These are guys that can do everything. And then you throw in the playmaking of Colston Loveland. This guy has 144 yards after catch, 76 yards after contact. He can break tackles. He can do run after the catch. He can make big plays. He can get open. You saw that play last game. He catches the ball over the middle after DJ Moore drops a pass, makes 2 players miss, gets a first down. Huge play in that game. He keeps coming up big in clutch situations, and you keep seeing them get him involved. He will start in the backfield. He will start in the slot. He will start at X or Z. They will motion him around, and for you to be able to pick all that up as a rookie, let me tell you, Marshall, it's not easy. I've tried it. I've done it. I've been in a lot of different offenses. It's very impressive, and for me, the sky's the limit for this kid. He's only 21 years old. He had his first sip of beer this year.
Well, first sip of beer legally. I don't know what they do out there in the Sticks. You know
Idaho,
what I'm saying?
yeah, I know.
You already know.
I'm from Dwight, Illinois. I know. I'm from a small town.
I was really impressed with Cole Kmet. And as you said, he's been doing all of the nitty-gritty, the dirty work, if you will, without necessarily getting the glory. But for him to be the leading receiver, I know it was not a great day for Caleb Williams, completing just 16 of 32 passes. But for him to have the 5 catches for 45 yards and to lead them in receiving, that had to mean something. Here's Ben Johnson Monday on Cole Kmet's performance versus the Vikings.
Cole played one of his best games he has so far this year. And he caught a couple more balls, but I'm not even talking about that. He's great in the running game. And then pass pro, we put him in some tough matchups there on some of their defensive end or outside linebacker types. And I thought he did an outstanding job throughout that. And then when he was a ball carrier, you felt his presence out there. He was lowering his shoulder. He was stiff arming. He brought our sideline to life a couple of times.
Talking about the tight ends, Cole Kmet, Colston Loveland. Don't worry, Durham Smythe. We didn't forget about you. Also, I like Ozzie Trapillo as an extra guy. Hope he catches a pass this week. I think it could happen. I really do, Clay. I know you're rolling your eyes at me. You're side-eyeing me. But I want to see some of the tricks out of the bag for Ben Johnson at home, Soldier Field, in Aaron Rodgers' presence, hurt or not. That's what I would like to see. But I like the way Ben Johnson talks about the other things that he does besides catching the football because, I think we're in this world where we consume football, a lot of us, through a fantasy football lens. So if you're not catching the ball and running with it and scoring touchdowns, it's easy to not think about you in that way. But they become so integral to this offense. And I think when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that has had trouble containing tight ends, this seems like a golden opportunity to get those guys on the field in 12 personnel and understand that you can get some real mismatches because you have to respect the running game. You talked about the run efficiency of the Bears. And at the same time, Ben Johnson can just be setting you up for those tight ends to take advantage of you down the field.
The Steelers' defense to opposing tight ends this year have given up 68 catches for 678 yards and 7 touchdowns. Prorate that if you're a tight end throughout a full season. That would be one of the best tight end seasons of all time. That's what the Steelers are giving up. And shout out to my producer on the Chicago Sports Network, Big Pro Football Show, Casey Hurtenberg, for coming up with those numbers. That's what they're giving up to opposing tight ends. When you got two weapons like Kmet and Loveland, you got to take advantage of that. Their linebackers also bite heavy on play action. I mean, they're one of the worst run teams in the league at stopping the run. They bite on play action. What is play action built for?
It's built to get you explosive plays down the field.
To get the linebackers to suck up and to get these tight ends and wide receivers in behind them. And that's what the Bears are running at a very high level. They're running the second most play action passes, 19% in the league, fifth most under center passes in the NFL. You get under center, you run that play action, you get the ball to Loveland, you get the ball to Kmet, you're going to have action there. And here's another stat I found and I thought was very interesting about the Steelers. Steelers run a ton of man-to-man coverage, the second most in the NFL. I love Colston Loveland when he's matched up man-to-man against a linebacker. They're 26th in yards per target to a tight end. So every time you throw to a tight end, it gets charted yards per target. Every target, they're 26th in the league. That's not good. There's going to be opportunities there for your young tight ends to get some balls down the field, and I think they need to be option number one on plenty of pass plays this week.
Talking with Clay Harbor from CHSN's The Big Pro Football Show, Marshall Harrison. Without Mark, without Layla, they have the day off. They'll be back on tomorrow. Mark will be at Haugh. Layla will be right back here in studio. But Clay, I think this is setting up for one of those game plans where you're saying the tight end should have a big day, and maybe not just one tight end, but possibly both tight ends?
Where do you think the Steelers rank in pass defense as a whole?
I know they're bottom 5 at my last check.
They're bottom. Okay, we're talking about Bengals. We're talking about Cowboys. They're giving up the most passing yards per game in the NFL. Okay, and one of the big reasons they're doing that is because they do not know how to guard a tight end. Play action crushes them. You get behind these linebackers and you can find some open holes. They do run a lot of man-to-man coverage at about 35%. Who matches up on the tight ends when they match? And they're a defense that matches a lot, so they're going to have base out there to our two tight ends. That means you got linebackers trying to guard Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet. To me, that's a mismatch that you can't miss. That. This guy, Colston Loveland, runs like a deer, like a wide receiver, and he blocks like I'm not going to say an offensive tackle, but he blocks like a really good tight end blocking, okay? He's got a rare skill set that you don't see a lot among tight end. I already told you all the tight ends that I see, but I think this will be a breakout game for both of them, Loveland and Kmet.
I have a simple question. Who's tight end one on the Bears?
I think tight end one on the Bears is basically in flux right now because it was Cole Kmet was getting more of the snaps, and he got 3 more snaps last week than Colston Loveland did, 59, 56. They ran a ton of 2 tight end sets last week, even 3 tight end sets. Durham Smythe was in there for 16 plays.
Yeah, that's why I asked, because I'm trying to figure out, does it even matter, one, and two, if you're Cole Kmet, like, you're probably pleasantly surprised at how much you still are involved, knowing that the number 1 overall pick, or not number 1 overall pick, but the first round pick of the Bears is a tight end.
The crazy thing about Ben Johnson is he will come out one week, like we saw last week, and run a ton of 12 and 13 personnel. Then he'll come out the next week, and you're seeing 3 wide 11 personnel all game long. So he will find something on tape. He will find a personnel grouping he likes to run against. He will find a formation, an alignment that he likes to run or throw against, and he will major in that until the cows come home. He will keep doing it and keep attacking it. So it goes week to week. But last week you saw a pretty equal balance. I think Colston Loveland is at the point to where he's starting to overtake Cole Kmet as the number 1 tight end. They're more comfortable with him in the blocking game. They're more comfortable with him getting downfield. Cole is going to be a guy that's doing a lot of the blocking, a lot of the play action chip flats. He's going to get an occasional play action, get behind the linebackers, throw him a ball. But any big time target, I think it's going to Colston Loveland. And I got to give Durham Smythe a shout out. He's a guy that last week showed he can run ISO. You saw the Bears running a lot of ISO. That's a fullback play. So he made himself more versatile. That's why you saw him on the field more, because he's running ISO. The Bears come out one play, they run a 3 tight formation. The next play they come out and they're running 4 wide, but they still have 3 tight ends in the game. That's how versatile these guys are, and that's why Ben Johnson loves having these athletic tight ends.
So the tight ends have been doing work, and Cole Kmet's role, there were a lot of questions surrounding it once we did hear Colston Loveland's name as the first pick that the Bears took in last year's draft. Here's Adam Haugh from Spiegel and Holmes yesterday on Cole Kmet's role on the team this year after Colston Loveland was taken with that pick.
He really does care about winning, and I thought that was most clear after they drafted Colston Loveland. Like, I talked to him a few days after the draft, and like his first reaction was, dude, we needed another tight end. Like I'm all in on this. Like, and I don't think people realize Cole Kmet's ideally suited in the role he's in now. He's not supposed to be the tight end that's, running all the way downfield and a speed burner and these crisp routes. Like, it's cool that he can do that when they need him to. And what people didn't realize is they were actually trying to get him out of that role the last few years. They signed Robert Tonyan, didn't go well. They signed Gerald Everett, didn't go well. Cole ended up having to play both tight end positions when they were trying to sign other guys to put him in the role that he's best at. So now they finally have that with Colston Loveland, and I think it's bringing the best out of Cole Kmet. Also, so is the offense. So is Ben Johnson. This is a great offense to be running 12 personnel, sometimes 13 personnel, and have him dominate as a blocker.
That's Adam Haugh, along with Spiegel and Holmes, to talk about the Kmet role. And Clay, hearing that, do you feel like everything's in its proper place now, maybe in this offense, as far as the tight end position goes?
I think it is, and I think Haugh hit the nail on the head. The thing you really respect about Cole Kmet is, he's a guy that wants to be a number 1 tight end. It reminds me a lot of Brent Selleck in Philadelphia. He was the number 1 tight end for a number of years. He got a big contract. People want to see him produce more. Guess what the Eagles do when Chip Kelly comes in? Besides moving me to wide receiver and linebacker.
You enjoyed those linebacker days, didn't you?
Yeah, they weren't fun. They draft Zach Ertz. So Selleck knows, I'm going to go from the guy who's a primary pass catcher, I'm going to be a blocker, and I'm going to catch these checkdowns. And he's got that same personality as Cole, is what you want. He's going to do whatever it takes to win football games. Zach took over as a pass catcher. Brent, who's had 60, 70 catch seasons, more than even Cole Kmet had, took a back seat, became a really good blocker, one of the best blockers in the league, ended up winning a Super Bowl. People in Philly love him today. He walks outside. I mean, he might as well be the mayor. I mean, he's not Jason Kelsey level, but he's up there. And that's what you see from Cole Kmet. His attitude is all about winning. He blocks hard, even if he's not getting the ball. He doesn't care if Colston's going out and catching a 40, 30-yard pass. He is good in his role, and he does it dang good. He can be very versatile, motion back and forth, very intelligent player, good in pass pro. There really isn't a weakness in this guy's game. And when you watch tight ends around the league, in the years I've watched him, you can always find a weakness. He doesn't do this well. He doesn't do this well. I'll tell you, my weakness was pass pro. I did not want to be pass blocking nobody at my size at tight end. Cole Kmet can do that. He can run block. He can catch the ball. He can get downfield. Cole Kmet deserves a lot of credit for how he's handled the situation and how he's stepped up his other roles since Colston Loveland has been here.
From one tight end to another, it's Clay Harbor's love letter to Cole Kmet. And you know what? I think the people outside, they appreciate that.